Hey, this is Troy Taylor with Totem Pole Sports with Coach Bald. We just wanted to go live, recap our week, and talk about what we had going on, and talk about the coaches that we had on the Championship Football Coaches Clinic and what we got going on next week. Coach Bald, big weekend for you and your guy fighting in the MMA. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Man, let me tell you what. It's 5-0 now. 5-0. Big fight stoppage. AD Paul Moore, he did it again. This match, it was a rematch. The first time he fought this guy, he knocked him out in 5 seconds. This one lasted a little bit longer because the guy ran a lot faster and he really tried to dip and dodge and dash. I mean, it was like he used all the 5 Ds of dodgeball to get away from the man. You know what I mean? But he finally caught up with him. He caught him. And it was a stoppage just like we talked about. We know he's not going to stop. It's got to be the refs. It's got to be the refs deal to stop it. But overall, man, it was a huge week overall in MMA. Paul Moore, the cyborg, doing what he did. I'm not surprised about that one bit, man. I know what that guy. I know kind of fuel he's got in his tank and everything. But there was other news. Fedor Emelianenko had his final fight. And it looked like he probably should have had his final fight a few years ago because it was not pretty, man. He got on his back. He had some blood dripping in his eyes. And, Herb Dean is, Hall of Fame referee. But I don't know, man. This guy, Fedor, he's been known to take a beating and everything. But I think he took too long of a beating. But the best part, in my opinion, of that whole thing was the aftermath, man. There were so many UFC legends in the ring. I mean, I'm talking some of the first guys, man. Horace Gracie was in the ring. I remember Dan Henderson was in the ring. There was numerous MMA all-stars. It was just a phenomenal sight to see all them paying homage to the Emperor, man. He was probably the baddest dude to ever do heavyweight mixed martial arts. So that was pretty big news. And another big thing that happened in the UFC, O'Malley, the Irish fighter that everybody likes, he signed a 8-fight extension on his deal. So, big things going on in the MMA world. And yeah, it was a big weekend. I mean, we just kind of got breaking news on the basketball, man. Kyrie going, from the Nets over to the Dallas Mavericks, man. That's a huge shift right there. What do you like about that, Coach?
I mean, they lost Jalen Brunson to the Knicks, and now they're adding Kyrie Irving into the mix, and Cuban wants to win a championship.
Yeah.
With Luka, so Kyrie is who he is, and do you think that our guy, AD Paul Moore, the cyborg, the real cyborg, do you think he has a shot to make it to the UFC?
Man, I've seen this guy's athletic ability firsthand, and what he's dealt with in the mental game. Fighting is such a mental thing. It's such it's just so crucial, man. You hear about all the best talk about it. I believe he has the mental to to go as high as he wants to go. The sky is the limit with this guy, man. He's been a fighter, his whole life. And, the hurt, the pain, the rage inside, man, this guy has done exactly what you good coaches, all the good coaches want people to do, man. They want you to channel all that negative, all that bad, all that hate, and they want you to unleash that, but in a positive way. All right, this guy's a fighter. He just, people get paid to fight, man. This is perfect for him. You know what I mean? Some athletes, they channel their rage into their workouts, and they unleash it while they're playing and they're balling and stuff like that. I believe this guy's got what it takes. He's only been in the game for 3 years, but he's a quick learner. He's on the jiu-jitsu. He's trained with some professional fighters. So I think given the opportunity, he checks all the boxes that you're looking for. He's his own brand. The guy, he's a legit stud And I don't know. I can't really explain it. He's got that grit. He's got that determination. You know what I mean? And when somebody is like that, and they've dealt with so many odds and have always fought back, I believe the guy, he feels unstoppable. And I mean, he looked unstoppable. Only person that could stop it was the ref. And I think he has what it takes. I just think he needs to get some more opportunities and some more reps. I think getting in there with bigger people, better people, highly trained people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a lot of his footage, man, and he's just going through practices, man. But he is rocking cats, man. The dude's got some cyborg legs. He's got some cyborg elbows, fists, and he brings them all, man. He's vicious. You know what I mean? And this is, I think this is his time. 27 years old.
Yeah, Barstool has Patty, right? And Barstool Sports, they love the dude Patty, whoever his name is. He's some blonde-haired guy. But Totem Pole Sports has the Cyborg. And we will walk shoulder to shoulder into the ring with A.D. Palmore, our guy from Southside St. Pete.
Southside
Sports is rolling with him. All right, so we are endorsing, we are sponsoring the Cyborg. So I know you watched a lot of the championship football coaches clinics that we did. We had Tom Caparelli, who is from Dr. Crop High School in Dade County. All right, I met Tom when he coached at CNU and ODU up here in Virginia. He's a Jersey guy. He's a North Jersey guy. We had him. He was great. Then we had Coach Cyborg.
Whoa. No, there's only one Cyborg.
The Coach Cyborg is going to be facing off against the angry Redskin fan this week. We're bringing back Totem Pole Trivia. And Coach Cyborg, the motivational and the blitzing expert, will be back.
Can I get a timeout here? Go on standby. Look, man, there's only one Cyborg. All right, this guy proved it this weekend. We probably get him on this week to challenge any other coach, and don't even think about using that name. Okay,
yeah, he guy. Said, you heard it. He said, "I'm like the Cyborg."
Yeah, well, just send me a location. Okay, send me a location.
Rochester, New York.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, he might beat up everybody on the way to Rochester, New York, just to warm up. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the angry Redskin fan will be back.
That ought to be a collision. Those two, I think, will be that'll be a good matchup. Those two.
That will be it.
Don't use Coach Cyborg. No.
Coach Tom Hall. Coach Tom Hall.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Can I
came on for 2 hours and spoke?
That was just so inspiring, just to learn all of the history behind that. I mean, that was like they basically told you how Bird created that blueprint, and how I didn't even realize Coach Waters was a head coach somewhere, and Coach Schrotenberg worked under him. You know what I mean? But
I need to look that up, man.
Knowing Coach Waters, I'm not surprised one bit. I mean, that guy is a guy I want to follow. You know what I mean? He's a coach that, if you're in the bunker with that guy, you can go to sleep if he's watching. You know what I mean? Because he will not let you down. He is just amazing guy. And man, I learned so much about that podcast, man. It was so great. When Coach Hall showed that Tennessee hat, I'd never met his father. I've only met him a few times, but that just got to me because I know what kind of guy he is, and all the things that you guys have done for the area, man.
You showed up to their weight room.
Yeah.
I showed up to their weight room when they first got the job.
Yeah, man. It was a very special thing, man. And all his guys treated us with a lot of respect, and vice versa. We did a camp there, did a camp here, man. It just it meant a lot. You know what I mean? It was like seeing some family that you ain't seen in a while. But as soon as you get with your old best friend you haven't seen in a while, y'all start talking, and man, it's like y'all never left. But it was
Yeah,
great to
man.
see that. And there was another moment with Coach Hall too, man. There was the moment where he had mentioned how his wife had to go up into the booth and start videoing. I lost my mind. It was so funny, man. I mean, I can see that, man, because I understand how, when you're coaching, you're down there, and when people are in the stands, they're talking about the coaches down there, and it's usually not good unless you're going unscored upon and undefeated. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In every game, you're going to hear bad stuff. But for him to convince her to go up there and to video it, that's just epic, and I love it. And she's an amazing woman to do that. That she's such a huge part of that family and everything. And the last thing that got me the most, that it just made me smile, made my heart smile, was when he was at Tech and they won that first bowl game, and he got that big grab on his shoulder, and he turns around, and that was his best friend. That was Coach Bland right there. And I just love it, because I feel our relationship and our bond, and I feel it's got to be a lot similar to those guys. They've gone on and done different things, and helped so many different people at different levels. But you're always boys with each other. Y'all are always best friends. Y'all always chop it up and everything, and that's pretty impressive, man. I didn't realize he's known him since 7 years old. That is really good stuff, man. But yeah, man, I love those podcasts, man. And that coach from Rochester, man, that he just seemed like he wanted to send guys off the sidelines to blitz, man. That guy was a pretty intense dude, man. I want to get one of his workouts, actually.
We want to get him in the octagon with the Real Cyborg, and we want to tape that. We might meet up at Iron Bridge Park and video that with the VHS tape.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that we went up to Iron Bridge with a little videotape.
Yeah,
Danny Browder, right? Danny Browder.
Derek Jones, Coach Cheetah, the Virginia Tech cornerback coach, who played for Tommy Tuberville, and also played for David Cutcliffe at Ole Miss, and coached at Murray State for the D-line coach, the Philadelphia Eagles. He was awesome. I don't know if you were able to see that, but what a motivator he is. He's the guy that said that I had elite charisma and elite energy. And he even mentioned me making a kid stand up who was wearing a black cowboy hat, because I was teaching about Johnny Cash being similar to Mother Teresa, because both were friends to the downtrodden, man. We're the low man on the totem pole, man. And Mother Teresa and Johnny Cash, they were the low man on the totem pole, and they were friends with the downtrodden, and that's us. But the low man always what?
Hey, in the trenches, the low man always wins.
The low man always wins.
I hear a train a coming. It's rolling around the bend. Yeah. Hey, really quick though, with that coach, man, I did catch some snippets, and man, it is, some coaches, you bump into coaches and you don't take and get anything, man. He was a sponge to some of the greatest coaches of all times. I mean, Cutcliffe, who all has this guy coached quarterback wise?
Peyton
right?
Manning, Eli Manning,
Danny Jones. I mean, unbelievable. Just to bump into that guy, in an elevator, you're gonna learn a lot of football.
Hey, man,
you know what I mean?
We might need elevator stories for when you were doing the driving.
Yeah.
Who are some people that you bumped into when you were driving from the hotel?
I'll never forget this. There was one morning I was working, and I guess whoever hadn't housekeeping wasn't there or whatever, and they were like, "Look, we got a VIP coming in, and we don't we need somebody to, help, clean this room. And I said, man, no problem. I'm here early. I was leaving at 4:00 in the morning, like I told you. And, I go in the room and I just start attacking. I attack that room. And I'll tell you what, man, you get me with a mop, man, I am a mopping machine. I'm like the cyborg in the cage. I'm like that with a mop. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I clean this room, and I mean, you drop a quarter on the bed, boom. You know what I mean? It's going to pop up in your pocket. But anyway, clean the room up. And the next thing I know, I'm downstairs about to do my shuttle run, and this beautiful SUV pulls up. And next thing I know, Tim Tebow had jumped out of that
Wow.
thing. And he jumped out, and I was like, what's going on, Tim? And it was like he knew me from day one. He's like, good to see you, man. Handshake and everything, man. Just a stand-up dude and stuff like that. And I'll just tell you this, man. I've met a lot of people over the years, and in that industry, one of the things I learned is, you treat regular people like a rock star, and you treat a rock star like regular people, and you're gonna get somewhere. You're gonna get somewhere, because that's real right there. You know what I mean? It always feels good to be treated good.
Hospitality.
And hospitality business, man, that's what it's all about. And sometimes with other people, you just kind of mirror energy. If somebody is coming in, if they're coming in and they're fired up and they're high five, man, throw that high five up, man. It's contagious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You mirror the person's energy. Like when I drove for Uber and Lyft, I tell our classes this: some of the best people live in the worst neighborhoods, and some of the worst people live in the best neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people don't want to talk, and sometimes people do. But a lot of times, man, I mean, it was heavy, man. I mean, having to deal with some of the issues that people were going through, didn't have a car, couldn't get to work. Most people just want to get to work and get back, But man,
but I got a good story, just because you mentioned the whole driving thing. One year I was working, and we had the women's NCAA basketball tournament down here, the Final Four here in Tampa. And the hotel I was at the time, we ended up having the University of LSU. They were like the team, they had the whole hotel to themselves, basically. They bought it out. Well, day before the game, I've got a couple of groups needing to go some places. We usually just do airport runs, but, we also try to take people to if it's around and we can make it happen. Well, this particular day, we had an older couple that just wanted to go to CVS. I guess the gentleman wanted some medicine or something like that. And there was another couple that wanted to go, to the airport. And, what I like to do is, and I told the couple, I was like, hey, I didn't want to take them to the place, drop them off, then go to the airport, come pick them back up. Because, they were an older, sweet couple, and I just didn't want them waiting. So I asked them, I said, hey, do you guys mind if I, take these guys to the airport, and then I'll just wait for y'all, and then you get your stuff, and then we'll just go right back to the hotel. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. So I was like, awesome. Well, the whole time, we're going over the airport, it's maybe a 7-8 minute ride. They're talking to the other couple, and it's just amazing, because it's literally like my grandmother is talking sports with the guys in the back, and like she knows everybody's name, like all the players that we're talking about. And we dropped off that couple, and then it's just me and the older couple. They're sitting right behind me. I'm driving the shuttle bus, and the next thing she says to me, she was like, well, sir, what is your favorite sport? And I was like, well, I love football. Football has always been my favorite sport. And I was like, she was like, yeah, you want to hear some trivia? And I was like, yeah, sure. What do you got? She was like, well, do you know who won the first Super Bowl? I was like, oh, yes, ma'am. It was Green Bay Packers. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. She was like, really? Oh, you're good. And she was like, I'm going to step in the store, and grab my husband's medicine. Talk to him. You might be interested. Right. And she was like, have him show you his ring. And I was like, well, you're going to show me your ring? And the next thing I know, he just kind of puts it in my hand, and I kind of grab it and look at it. And to me, at first, I just look at it, kind of looks like a class ring, the old high school class rings.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look, a little closer, and it says 31 Taylor. And then I flip it over on the other side, and it's Green Bay Packers Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
Super Bowl
Jim
one,
Taylor.
man. Jim Taylor. And he was sitting right behind me, and I was just like, man, Mr. Taylor, I've always been a huge football fan to where, I used to have the VHS tapes. And, man, I used to have NFL Tough Guys. And there was another video, and he was the only running back that was on there. They had Dick Butkus.
Guys.
Yeah, they had Dick Butkus.
Willie Lanier.
Yeah, man, it was great. And I said to him, I was like, wow, Mr. Taylor, I was like, tell me about, like, when did you feel like you were, at your peak level, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I feel like I'm sitting in Santa Claus' lap when and he was like, well, Kyle, he was like, the year before it was the Super Bowl, they called it the championship game, and we played against the New York Giants. And he was like, I ran the ball for 24 times for, 76 yards. And I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm just like, well, that wasn't a very good, you didn't get that many yards per carry, And he was like, well, it took 7 or 8 of those SOBs to take me down every time. And I was like, wow. I was like, so that's when you felt like you were at your peak? And he was like, well, Kyle, actually, we had a game at LSU. I scored 6 touchdowns. I felt pretty good that day. And I was just like, man. But best part about this, that day, I ended up, for some reason, I did get his info. I was like, I'll see you later. But I asked him, I said, if I see you later, is there any way I could, maybe get a picture, just to show my buddies of the ring? And he was like, yeah, no problem. So very next day was when they were playing, and I saw him, and I was like, hey, Mr. Taylor, do you mind if I get that picture with you? And he was like, Kyle, get over here, right? So I get in the picture, I take the picture. And as soon as I take the picture, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, all my scumbag buddies are just going to think, this guy's just taking a picture of some random old guy, you know what I mean? And calling it, the GOAT, Jim Taylor, Hall of Famer, first Super Bowl champ. So then I asked him, I was like, Mr. Taylor, you mind, just kind of, throwing your fist up and me getting a picture of the ring?
Yeah.
And he said, Kyle, how about you just put the ring on yourself? I was like, Mr. Taylor, man, that's a great idea. And so, yeah, man, I got a picture still on my phone of me with that first Super Bowl ring,
I remember
man.
you texted it to me.
Yeah, man, it was so cool because, I was telling my daughters that one day, and she was like, what would you put somebody's ring on for? I was like, well, if the Queen of England gave you her ring, would you try it on? She was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, man. So that's one of my cool little driving stories.
And Andrew Luck, did you used to pick up the quarterbacks and they came in for the Gruden?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, they would usually have a car that would come scoop them up. But yeah, man, we would see those guys. Kind of just posted up outside. And yeah, man, there was one time it was, before he got drafted to the Colts, and I saw him and I was like, Mr. Luck, man, anyway, get a picture. And he was like, yeah, let me just throw my gear in the car. And, I'm thinking not a backpack, man. I'm talking a huge, huge rack, a huge sack. I mean, and he did that, when he went away, we're like, man, we ain't seeing that guy again. Man, he came back right in. And as we're doing the picture, one friend taking the picture, man, he puts his, like, it's me and then him in the middle and another guy. And dude, he just puts his arms right around us like we're his guys, man. It was just such a cool thing. And I remember putting my arm, and man, it was just, that dude was nothing but brick, man. That dude was like, built like a fullback, man. He was a stud. That dude could have played little linebacker.
Oh, yeah. He was not small.
Yeah,
so
man.
What do we have going this week? Who do you have coming on that's an NFL prospect? Let everybody know about your guy.
Yeah, man, my man Ken Thomason, he's going to be coming on. I think we're trying to get him on Tuesday around 7 p.m. But, yeah, man, he went to McKendree University. I think he's I'm trying to say he's played more years there, which I want to say he's 4 or maybe 5 years. Then he's had holding penalties. And, for an offensive lineman, man, that's pretty crucial. I think he's going probably about legit 6'5", probably 310, 305 or something like that. But just amazing kid, man. Like, I'm one of those coaches, and some people aren't like this, but like, if I'm at the beach or something, or I'm at a place and I've got time and I see, like, some kids maybe throwing some ball, or maybe them doing some lineman drills or something like that. If I'm not doing anything, man, I'm gonna go over there and just see what's going on, talk to him a little bit. But yeah, man, I remember this kid when I was way bigger than him, and now he is way bigger than me. And it's such a cool thing. He comes down here every single year to the Treasure Island area. And we get up with him every year that he comes down. His family is amazing, and it's just one of those where sometimes you bump into somebody and they end up being one of your best friends in the world, and that's how his family is with us. His dad is an amazing mechanic. He played ball at the University of Illinois. Everybody knows Ken at University of Illinois. He's got another amazing son named Connor, who's trying to be a state trooper in that area. And then Caitlin is the youngest of them all, and she's just got the heart of gold. They're all big Rottweiler enthusiasts as well. So, me having a Rottie and them having Rottweilers, I mean, like, we can't wait to see each other. You know what I mean? So it's a good thing. But yeah, he's been working his tail off. He's been, training twice a day, getting ready. He's doing a big combine here, and I believe he's going to the University of Northwestern when they do theirs, and that's going to be a great spot because Northwestern has a big time prospect on the offensive line that's probably a top 5 pick this year. So it's going to be good because he's about that same guy's size and athletic ability. So we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully he knocks out the park, but really, really good ball player, but man, just even a better dude. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. But I see him down the line, being a coach as well, man. His football knowledge, his IQ is amazing, man. He's one of these guys just from the neck up, man. He just knows what's going on. He knows what the DBs are doing, and he plays, right tackle. You know what I mean? It's just he's just a phenomenal. He loves the game, man. He loves football. He's just one of those guys that just loves football.
He loves it.
That's it, man. Yep.
Tomorrow morning, we got Coach Dan Mullins coming on.
Wow.
He's going to be talking about optimizing athletes' performance. He's a strength coach. Then tomorrow night, we have Josh McDaniel's dad, Thomas McDaniel, who was a longtime high school coach at, I can't say Massillon because he'll get upset because that's their rival. the school where Canton, Ohio, the Hall of Fame is located. He was McKinley. He was the head coach there, and he was the head coach at Warren Harding. He was Maurice Claret's high school coach.
Wow.
And now his son won 6 Super Bowls with Tom Brady. He's the head coach of the Raiders. He's got another son that was the quarterback coach with the Texans. Did you know that Josh McDaniels GA'd with Nick Saban at Michigan State? That's unbelievable.
Good person to be a sponge to.
Yeah. And then on Wednesday, we have the Virginia 757, even though he's from Northern Virginia, the GOAT, Chris Beatty, Percy Harvin's high school coach, the Chargers wide receiver coach, Chris Beatty, will be coming on Wednesday night on the Championship Football Coaches Clinic on Totem Pole Sports. I texted Chris. He will be on Wednesday night. Then let's see. We got the Totem Pole Trivia. We already said that. That's with Angry Redskin fan and the alleged Coach Cyborg, which he might get his name changed. It might turn into be a symbol, Coach Symbol.
I like that. Yeah.
Then Coach Saunders is coming on tomorrow night, who he's a D coordinator at Meadow Creek in Georgia. And he's going to be talking about running the wing T, because I saw the 49ers play that last game that they played in before they lost, and they didn't have a quarterback. And it looked like it was running the wing T, So He's going to talk about why and how you should run the wing tee. So that's what we got so far. Eric Acciani, the offensive coordinator, Mercy Hurst, he's going to be on next week, next Wednesday night. But the next week after that, we got Valentine's Day. So we got to make sure that we do our due diligence and we do what's right for our lady friends on Valentine's Day. What do you usually do for your wife on Valentine's Day, Coach Paul?
Yes, sir. Very smart that you mentioned that. Last year, me and her went out with our 2 granddaughters and had an amazing time. My daughter, she was working. So this year, I think we're all going to try to get together. We haven't figured out if she works yet. But, it's a time that we all can kind of get dressed up and make them all wear red and everything. And, we took them to a hibachi spot last year. And it was just, it was amazing, man. It was so funny because the littlest one had to go, go boo-boo, about the time that they do the fire and everything. And so, yeah, it was, she kind of missed the wife and her kind of missed the show, so I just videoed it and everything and showed them when they got back. But, yeah, man, it's just a good time. And just the pictures from it, man, it's so amazing to see how quickly they grow in 1 year, so I'm definitely looking to upgrade that picture and everything. Any big plans for yourself or anything like that? Or what do you got going on?
No, my girlfriend's birthday is the day before Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we'll probably celebrate that. But on that shirt there, you got heel. Are you a Tar Heel fan? What is that? Heel for life. Now, what does that mean that you're a heel?
Well, in the wrestling business, the baby face is usually, he's the good guy. Yeah. And the bad guy is kind of known as the heel. And I kind of like the crowd, when a crowd is booing a guy, I kind of consider him an underdog. So I kind of pull for him. So that's why I got the heel for life shirt because, growing up, man, I liked some of the bad guys, man. I liked, I liked Ravishing Rick Rude. I liked Haku, man. Haku is one of my favorite wrestlers, man. Haku, if you ever look his stuff up, man, or you ever, YouTube videos on the toughest pro wrestlers of all time. And I promise you, Haku will be the top guy. If they did MMA in Haku's career, he might still be the champion today. I'll just say that Haku is a very, very bad man. But yeah, I liked a lot of heels, man. I liked the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Everybody else was booing him. I was booing him, Yeah, man, that's kind of what the shirt, the method behind the shirt is.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the clip on YouTube where Logan Paul talks about being a bad guy. Do you know the clip that I'm talking about?
I haven't seen it, nah.
Oh man, this is good stuff right here, man. I don't remember the wrestler that he's on there with. It's a girl. She's from England.
Oh, let me see. Would that be Rhea Ripley, maybe? Yeah, maybe, Rhea Ripley is who I'm thinking of. But
how does she spell Ripley?
Like Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Rhea is like a RHEA, Rhea Ripley. But yeah, I got to see that one.
Okay, I remember how to find it. It's where Triple H gives them advice. All right, we'll probably get a copyright violation.
Speaking of copyright violations,
it's Sasha Banks joined by it's this girl right here.
Oh, Sasha Banks.
It's not Sasha Banks. No, it's the girl that's with Sasha Banks on here. All right, where's his advice? Triple H. This was the advice he gave him, I think, before
Mania.
Yeah, before WrestleMania. All right, I'm gonna present it.
Yeah, man, he put on a heck of a show for Mania.
We're freezing because anybody can go ahead and do the moves. This guy goes out
Oh
Locked
man,
out.
and do the move. This guy goes out and does the move.
That's the man right there.
yeah,
It's not always about the physicality.
it's what he tells
You
them.
had a long, he had a
People are
long
gonna
night.
kill you for that
He had a
one.
long night. Everybody, all right? He goes, just so you know, it's not always about the physicality. He goes, the people want to see your charisma.
Charisma.
All right. They want to see you, your personality. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I took that. I actually took that. Like I was thinking about what he said during some of the displays and trying to just come through the screen and so people could feel my emotion. And I can already tell, like, you do such a good job of that.
No,
You're
but
so invested.
you killed with that,
Oh,
and
thank
you told a great story, and it's funny because a lot of people come in, they don't want to be the bad guy, and you were so comfortable in that role, and
You
it was
think so?
so
He's used to it.
yes.
Okay, so do you think that he wants to be the bad guy, Big Daddy
Man.
Cool?
Man, I think he's just kind of a natural bad guy. He's just one of those dudes where he's got kind of that cockiness, and some dudes just want to smack the taste out of his mouth. You know what
You're
I mean?
gonna love this, what he says, man, and what she tells him.
But it was
He's
it was
used to
so
it.
fun to watch. It was so fun for all of us backstage and the audience to watch, and it was great.
Thank you. I don't want to be a bad guy.
Oh, you don't want to be a bad
I don't want to
guy.
be a heel.
Oh, you're so good at it. But also you're very good at your comedic timing. I was watching that when you were doing the stuff with Rami, with Sami Zayn,
Oh yeah.
before, and your comedic
Oh,
timing
thank
was
you.
fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to be liked, like I don't want, like, okay, like I'm a heel now, I guess technically, but like maybe I could be a babyface one day because you were a babyface.
I was a babyface for a long time, but the thing is a lot of the time when you're so good at being a heel, you become a babyface because one, you're having fun, right? Like it's so fun. It's so fun to be a heel because you don't care what anybody thinks, and what freedom that is.
That is
because
true.
we all go around caring about what people think of us and their opinions of us, and it's so easy to offend anybody
Yeah.
now more than ever, and to know that we're offending people. And so to have people like you, yeah, if they do like you, the adulation is great and you feel amazing, but to have that freedom to go, I don't care what you think of me, I'm gonna do my thing and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. And then because you have that attitude, everybody wants to have that attitude, and they go, oh man, that person's cool, I like them.
There is an extreme freedom in that. I told these guys because when I walk out, people boo, and these are my friends, and people are fucking booing me. Like
Sorry about that, by the
everyone's
way.
booing me.
I just wanted to be like everybody else.
And I'm like, no, like it's fine, it's okay. You live in that space, and the WWE has actually taught me that lesson to kind of just like disconnect. Don't take it too personal. Put on that big show, piss people off. Yeah, fuck y'all, bro. Like I'm gonna go out there and do my thing regardless. And there's so much freedom and I don't know, strength and being able to just remove yourself and put on an amazing show. And I don't know. Do you like being the heel better than a baby face?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I mean, what'd you think about that, man?
Well, I was watching, you and Tom Hall's podcast, and there's a part about, I was mentioned in some guys that were trying to stop some little league players going on the field. Is there any footage of that by any chance?
I do not think so. I think that was all alleged. I think the statute of limitations has ran out, and I don't think it knows. But
I thought it
you're
was
so good at being bad.
Man, no, I just thought it was like, with that situation that happened, you got to dig deeper into the situation. Like we were playing those guys the year before at our field, and we had one of our brothers, one of our best players, our best friend, he was getting up, on a play, the whistle had blown and everything, and you just obviously see this guy, mush this guy to the ground, cheap shot him, kind of just push him down. And I don't know who had the controller of the film, but man, it seemed like we watched that thing 20 times and it just got stuck in your brain. And then there was another play where it almost looked like, the guy was down on the ground on the ball carrier, and you could almost just see guy just like doing this, like, it looked like some rabbit punches or something like that. So I think that kind of got, us really, excited to play that game, because we had never seen anybody do that to our team. And then when we saw it, and then, we go to their field to play them the very next year. So they, they're trying to bully my best friend, at our field. We got it on tape. We watched it a bunch of times. So, man, we're dialed in. Man. I can't wait to play these guys. And, I got the bullseye on the guy that was doing it. We know what number he is and everything. And, we get there, and I can't speak for anybody else, but I've just felt kind of disrespected. Like, you don't play us on homecoming. You don't have little league night when we're there. You don't do that to us. That's just, you shouldn't do that. And so if I was doing anything, it was aimed at, their players, their coaching staff, man. I would never want to do that to any little league. I love the little league football. Little league football is one of the best things in the world. The coaches get nothing. They just do it for love, and they're changing kids' lives. So that would be the last thing that, I would ever want to do. And I do remember getting called in, to the coach's office, and man, he really ripped us. But I think it was just, I was a victim of the circumstances, if you know what I'm saying.
You're misunderstood.
I was a victim of the circumstances.
But is there a freedom in being the heel that you don't care what anyone says, and when you're so good at being bad, you actually become good, which is like Stone Cold, Ric Flair, The Rock. They were actually heels that were so good at being a heel, they became good.
There's something to it. It's got to be
NWO.
Right. It's got to be, it's one of those where, the promoter can't force it. You know what I mean? It's the wrestlers. They got to know it. They got to feel it. They got to know when, to, do the turn, do the heel turn, do the face turn. That's what's so crucial about it. But I think when you see these guys, kind of get away from their gimmick, start being more themselves, that's when you see, people really fall in love with some of these guys, because, Steve Austin, there's a lot of Stone Cold in Steve Austin, you know what I mean? And the swag that The Rock had, I mean, that was a lot of their true feelings and stuff like that, man. So I think it's it's a masterpiece when you see it working properly like that, man. I do. I think, heels, I don't think anybody wants to be booed. And, I've met some people outside of it, And I from what I've heard from them, they always say that, usually the guys that are the bad guys are the best dudes in the world for real. And then the guys that are the baby faces outside of there are pieces of dirt. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just kind of what I've heard. I don't know it if I don't see it, I don't know, but I don't know, man. It's something about coming out and getting booed where, some people get fired up, you know what I mean? But it's like with coaching kids, man. I've dealt with different kids where some kids aren't going to listen to you until your veins popping out of your head and you're yelling, and they won't get inspired until then. And then there's other guys where, if you do that, they'll just shut down automatically. So, it's very similar because, as a coach, you need to know your players and know how to speak to them. And as a good pro wrestler, you got to know how your crowd is and know how to speak to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that was Becky Lynch right there, man. And she's amazing. She's
Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
See, I don't even know. I just know that he said you got to show your charisma. And I just studied charisma myth. I think I sent you the link.
Yeah,
that
I saw that.
Charisma is, what is it? It's power, it's heart, and it's one other characteristic. I can't think of what it is, but I mean, it's your charisma.
Yeah, probably your confidence is what I would guess.
You gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah, man.
That's what I guess Logan Paul has.
Yeah, and he wrestled in high school, man. I mean, the guy he's a and he's knocked out some people. He's a legit athlete, but yeah, man. And I think with pro wrestling, I think he's just got people that don't like him from whatever he's done on YouTube. But, I don't really follow it too much, but the guy he's amazing, man. For the short period of time he's been there, man, he loves it, and he's made a huge impact right from the get. He's like
Hey,
he's a needle in a haystack.
You didn't mention one of the biggest highlights of the week, and that was the Jocko Willink retweet.
Hey, he's watching us. Yeah, man.
Tell Totem Pole, and we'll get off of here after this, but tell Totem Pole Nation about the Jocko Willink retweet.
Oh man, I was promoting some of his books because they're amazing. You know what I mean? From his kids' books to his grown adults' books. There's not one book in there that's bad. You know what I mean? And if you love your kids, grandkids, somebody you can't think of a good gift, man, go to his site and get his books. They've got books for kids, people at every single level.
The Way of the Warrior. The
Way of the Warrior Kid. I think they go up to 5 of them now, 5 different books. I think he's got coloring books. Man, spoil your kid with that. I had my granddaughter this weekend, and what we actually did, she got on the honor roll, and we had talked that before that you get on the honor roll, Papa's going to do something special for you. So that very next morning, me and her get up, and I was like, you know what? You've been doing so good. How about we go to Target and pick out, whatever book you want? And she was really excited about that. And so what we did on the way to Target is I put it, I Bluetoothed it on from my phone. But if you type in there, Ask Uncle Jake, Way of the Warrior Kid on YouTube, you got, questions from kids, asking questions, and he replies. And me and her listened, and we talked about everything that they talked about, and there's a lot of really good questions. And I would say, man, that's a good question, and she kind of concurred with it, and it was just a really special bonded moment. If we were in the car, we got to that book and everything, and then we listened to it on the way, and we just talked about different things. Sometimes I would pause it, we just talk, but yeah, man, special moment, and I had, the first time I had read her that book, she wasn't even reading. She's 10 years old now, honor roll student. They want to bump her up a grade. That's how good she's doing. Wow. But yeah, when I first was reading this, we were on a trip, and it was me and her, Lela. My wife was driving, and I was riding in the front, and she's in the back in the car seat and everything. And I'm reading the book to her, and I look in the rear view, and I mean, her eyes are just like beelining on me because I'm reading the book to her. And, I think I'm a good reader, and I also do voices. You got to do different voices because Uncle Jake talks like this, you know what I mean? And man, she just fell in love with it. She wrote her Way of the Warrior Kid, her rules and her laws that she goes by. But it's an amazing book. I'm telling you, if there's any kid at any age, you want to inspire, you get them that. She likes to work. She does workouts and stuff like that. She always comes over now, and she's like, Papa, there's such and such that I really want to get. Is there any chores or any extra work that I can help you with? I would love to be able to get, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh yeah, we could definitely find something for you. And that's the thing, like I'll do it too, where, she might do a big task for me, and, I'll give her a couple bucks, and then I might have her do something small, and, I might give her a little bit more then, and just get into details about stuff, and do specific, details. And man, she'll catch on really quick. Her and a girlfriend one time, they were out back. We were swimming in the pool, and they were like, hey, Papa, we both want to have a cannonball contest. You okay with that? Can you be the judge? And I was like, oh yeah, perfect. So granddaughter goes up there. I mean, she's stumbling. She jumps in, and just looked like she'd never done it before. And and then her friend did it, same thing. I think I gave them both like 4s or something, like 4.5. And then I got specific. I was like, look, first of all, you're in a pageant. You know what I mean? Like, this is a contest. I want some charisma, basically. And I was like, I want you to walk up there, man. I want you to smile. And man, they both walk up there, looking all pretty. And then I was like, and look, you got to get some vertical under yourself. I can't sit there and I can't even fit my credit card under you trying to jump in from a cannonball. I need some air, some vertical, get up. And next thing you know, man, she does. She gets up in the air. And then like the final task, I was like, look, you got to really tuck like a ball. And ball yourself and boom, you're going to see a big splash. And both of them did way better. But it's because I gave them those little details and they knew I was paying attention. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I did, man. I gave them both like a 6.5. And I mean, they were so happy about a 6.5. And then I think about it, how many times somebody not paying attention might just be like, oh, that was a 10 when it was, their first splash. You know what I'm saying? So, you just got to you challenge her to get better. You know what I mean? And man, she's a warrior kid, so she's accepted the challenge. So yeah, man, check that book.
What's up with the card show? I thought you were saying card, like sports card, but you actually went to a
cars.
Show.
Yeah. Tampa car. It was a Tampa car show. I mean, St. Pete car show.
Tell Totem Pole Nation about the car show.
Yeah, car show was right there in St. Petersburg, Florida, right outside of the Benoit Hotel, right there off of Beach Drive. I don't know, man. I just saw it and we went to it. And took a bunch of pictures. Yeah. My wife's 68 Firebird was in it. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So that was really cool, man. We love that car. It is, it sounds so good. It's old school kind of green color, kind of like a cultivated wellness kind of green. Yeah, man. So it's pretty good stuff. And we shined her up last night pretty good before we went out. And we took our dog, Malaysia. And, man, she had the best time. There's so many dogs out there. It's such a gorgeous day down here. I mean, it was like 72 degrees, sunny, So it was nice. We got there about 9:30 this morning and left out of there at 4 o'clock. Just saw all kinds of people and friends and made new friends. And, yeah, had a good time with it, man. Sunday, fun day.
Yeah, so how do you feel about our sponsor, Cultivate Wellness?
Man, like I always kind of say, health is wealth. I mean, you never want to wake up, not wanting to get your day started or feeling bad or having bad aches and stuff like that. The products that we have here, can handle all those situations. And, even your favorite four-legged friend. You can get them some stuff that'll, take care of that anxiety, let them sleep better and, different products. Just check out the website and place the order. You know what I mean? Place the order. They got our backs. We got y'all's backs. And, that's what we're here for at Totem Pole Sports.
Yeah, tell them Totem Pole sent you. All right, we are the low man on the totem pole, and the low man always what?
Wins in the trenches.
Wins in the trenches. All right, we will see y'all. We're not gonna be doing life lessons tomorrow, right? Or are we?
No, man. I'm thinking I might get up early. So
okay, so we will be back at 7 a.m.
Yeah. It might be about 7 a.m.
We'll be doing life lessons with Coach Bald, the Heal for Life. Totem Pole, we're out.
Y'all be good.